Hello everybody. What I'd like to show you today is something that we've been practicing in class. Should not be unfamiliar to you, but I want to give you a chance to maybe do it at home or you can do it safely. So the first and foremost is make sure you find some place that's safe to do it. Do not do it inside. Don't practice tennis inside. There's no room to do that. But if you have a place outside where there's a wall without windows that you're not going to go ahead and hurt anything if you hit the ball a little bit astray, then you might be able to go ahead and do this. And I guarantee if you practice it for a couple minutes every day, in a week, a little bit more, for 2 weeks, you come back, you'll be really pretty proficient at this. So what we're going to do is get some tennis balls, but like we did in class, we're not going to start off with a tennis ball and racket. I want you to start off just hitting with a soft ball. So if you have a soft ball, it could be a Nerf ball or something with a little bit of air in it. Or if you have a tennis ball, you can do that because we're not going to hit real hard. So the important thing to do is we're going to try to go ahead and mimic the swing as if you had a racket in your hand. So you're going to stand with your feet shoulder-width apart, which is about like this. And you're going to stand sideways to the wall or wherever you're hitting. Okay? And you're going to use your dominant hand to strike the ball with. So your non-dominant arm is facing the wall. So we're basically lined up like this. What we're going to do is we're going to bend our legs. So we definitely want to get these big muscles involved. We're going to get the ball out here in front of us. That's going to be extremely important because if you don't do this right, the swing is not going to go where you want. So it has to be dropped in front of your forward foot. Like that. Okay? Your hand is going to be low, and we're going to swing from low to high because we have to get it over the net, of course. So basically it'll look like this. We'll drop it, and you're not going to strike real hard, but you're going to make sure your hand is low to start, and you're going to strike it with an open hand. Each time it comes back, catch the ball, and make sure you get in this position. This is critical that you have your arm down here each time, and you're out like that. And you can see how I'm striding into the ball, like this. Bounce, stride, and, sorry, I chased the ball. So I want you to go and practice that for a good couple minutes, okay? And get the idea of nice and low, knees bent, and watching the ball. And most importantly, is dropping it out in front of you. Okay, that's a couple minutes. Now we're going to move to something that's extremely hard. I get it, and I think you're not going to have great success with it, but I definitely want you to try it. And that is, we're going to hit with our non-dominant hand, which is really hard to do. I became pretty proficient in it because I learned how to play handball, so I could go ahead and use both hands. But it's very hard for most people to go ahead and do this, but I want you to struggle with it. Same thing, feet shoulder-width apart, hand low, drop the ball in front. And as best you can, see if you can strike it. Low, legs bent, strike it. Okay? And just try it. Even though you can't hit it very well, the important thing I want you to get is that this hand is nice and low and you're swinging up and high. Even if you don't hit it successfully, that's fine. All right, so the reason why I want you to do this is when we do put a racket in your hand, for the backhand, most people will hit a two-handed backhand, and the racket will be like this, with the other hand there. And basically, it'll be as if you're swinging with the left hand, and the right hand kind of rides there and hits. So the swing is basically technically perfect if you can practice that open-handed swing. Okay? So you got a couple minutes with the dominant, and then the non-dominant hitting. Then I'd like you to get a ball. Sorry. And you just want to practice with the racket. First thing I want you to do is practice just bouncing the ball. See if you can keep it up for a good ball. Once you get used to that, and see if you can just juggle it like this. And the reason why I want you to do this will teach you where that sweet spot is of the racket. Because if I can hit it right in here, I hardly need any force to go ahead and hit it where I want to and pretty hard. If I don't hit the sweet spot, the racket will move. So what I'd like you to do is to get the racket, practice that, and then the next thing I want you to do is to go ahead and practice your forehand, which is exactly the same thing, which is feet shoulder width apart, like this, and then you're facing the wall. Your dominant, non-dominant shoulder is facing the wall. And you do basically the same thing, where your racket is low, just as if you didn't have a racket in your hand, and you're dropping the ball in front of you. Make sure that the ball is just dropped right in front of the forward foot. If you can do that, I don't think you can have a bad hit. If you start here, you're going to let the ball bounce probably up to about your knee or a little bit higher. And you start it nice and low here, underneath the ball. Now the hard thing really comes to hit the second and third shot. I'm making it look pretty easy because I'm used to doing this, but it really is quite difficult to get your feet in the right position. So that's where the challenge is. If you do this every day, a couple minutes every day, you'll be amazed what's going to happen in a week. Got it? Okay, can't wait to see your progress when you come back to school.